What's going on, everybody? So I launched an ad a few days ago, and I booked 5 calls in 24 hours using this ad that I launched. And I want to break it down for you guys so that you guys can repeat this process as well. You guys know that I'm huge on paid advertisement, and that's how I get all my client acquisition, essentially. So I just want to break this down so you guys can repeat this. So essentially, the thing that I want to focus on the most at the very beginning of this is going to be the call out headline typed at the top of the ad. So if you see here, this stays the entire time this ad plays, okay? Which, what it does is essentially it's a direct call out and it's a curiosity gap. Okay, so I put here how to replicate this for a fitness coach. So essentially, niche, you're going to call out your audience. Here's how here's how to do X so that Y. Thank me later. This thank me later is a similar sort of thing as authenticity first style. It's going to provide curiosity, okay? So when someone reads this, we're going to be like, why should I thank you? So if you replicate this, I would use something like this or put your unique mechanism as the brackets so that when someone clicks on it, they're like, oh shit, like what's going on there? Why should I watch this? And they're going to watch it. And then, obviously you want to show them what you can provide. Okay. So I got so many booked calls so quickly at such a low spend is there is a direct call out. So it names the exact audience and there's an instant pattern interrupt and self-identification. Okay. So they're like, holy shit, that's me. Next thing is the curiosity gaps. The authenticity first is a term that they don't have a definition for yet. So they keep watching to resolve the fact that they don't have a definition for this. They want to learn what this is so that they can have a definition in their head. Okay. So I also want to break this down as well, the retention mechanics. And I want to talk about this first because this is at the very beginning of the video. So essentially, this is the first frame, and this goes to 0 to 1.5 seconds. This is the next frame, and this goes from 1.5 to 5 seconds. And then the next is going to be 5 to 8 seconds. Okay, so there's 3 frames that pop up, and there's a lot going on sort of in the first 8 seconds of this video. And what that does is it's like multiple frame changes, right? So it resets the attention of the person who is watching the video. So they see it and then they're like, oh shit, something else. And then they're like, oh what? Like, they're like watching it and they get caught off guard by how many things are happening. So it resets the attention before they can scroll, and then it leads to them watching the video for longer. And then when they get deeper into the video and I start talking about the actual value that I'm providing, then they want to watch it. So it's like they get caught watching it and then they learn that they want to watch it. Okay. So that's why it booked so many calls so quickly. And there's a visual variety. So the algorithm reads watch time. And then because they stay for 10 seconds automatically because of the consistent frame changes, there's a cheaper distribution because Meta is going to track this and realize that people want to watch this video. Okay. So the next thing I want to talk about here is going to be the awareness ladder. So essentially the ad walks them through the ladder and it does it fast because the very first thing that they notice is they're problem aware. Okay. They know they have a problem because the authenticity first implies what they've been doing is inauthentic. So they watch and they're like, why am I doing this wrong? Is my current person who's telling me to film ads this way, are they wrong about this? Are they wrong about the authenticity aspect of this? So it makes the problem aware immediately, okay? And then the next thing that they see is the fact that there's a solution to this, okay? So Meta's always changing and they keep up the pace so that you don't have to. So essentially it positions me as the mechanism, okay? I'm going to be the person who's going to answer this problem for them. And then this one line that I say in here does both of those things. It makes them problem aware. It also provides them a solution to their problem. So they're like, oh shit, I should probably watch this. Okay. And then what we look at next is going to be, there's a unique mechanism. So like for fitness coaching, for example, if you had something that unique that you do versus other coaches, you can like mention this in your advertisements so that they see it and they're like, oh shit, this is something I've never been taught before. And obviously this is going to be harder to come by in today's day and age. So you need to be creative thinking about this. Okay. So, the reason that people stayed and watched this one in particular was because I mentioned authenticity first ad. And people are like, what? Haven't heard that before. So I named a mechanism that they don't recognize. So they want to learn what that actually looks like in reality. Naming it makes it ownable and differentiated. Okay. So what I'm saying here, it's my method. It's not someone else's method. It's my method. So if you want to learn about this, you need to talk to me. Okay. And it reads as a high ethics approach as well, which is going to build trust faster. So essentially, I'm like, you need to be authentic. And they're like, oh, yeah, I love being authentic because there is moral behind that. And if it's going to book me more calls, then hell yeah. So that's why I booked so many calls so quickly. And then proof and logic pairing. Okay. So like I'm showing proof in this ad, and then I'm also tying logic to why the proof exists. Okay. So like when someone sees it, they're like, oh yeah. Or if you just showed someone proof, they're gonna see it and they're gonna make, okay, like I've seen proof before, everyone gets people to lose weight or everybody gets someone to book calls. But I'm tying it to logic because I'm like, this ad in particular has a unique mechanism, and that's how I book calls. So I'm like, okay, here's the proof and here's the logic behind the proof. And then they're like, okay, well, if this is logical and it's hitting my emotions, and now I'm aware that there's a solution, then like, hell yeah, I'm going to watch this. I want help from this guy. Okay. And then, like I say here, the proof alone is like, it's good for you. But the proof and the mechanism makes it repeatable for other people to achieve that same result. Okay. So that's what actually keeps this a system. It's not just a lucky one-off, and I'm going to repeat this over and over again with all my advertisements. All of these things here that I mentioned are going to be, necessary variables to implement into your ads in 2026, and this is what's going to lead to cheaper cost per book call. So if you guys have any questions about this, send me a message on Instagram, coach, and that's what's going to get a response. If you just send me a random message, I may not answer it. So reach out on Instagram, say coach, and we can walk through the process of how we can implement this into your advertisements. And I'll show you exactly a script that you can use for your own coaching and how we can actually book you guys some calls. So if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Brent Chavasol. I've done over $1.5 million in fitness sales by the time I'm 25 years old. And I've coached over 700 athletes, and now I've also mentored over 50 coaches to scale to over $10,000. So if you guys have any questions, DM me the word coach.